On June 23rd, there was a referendum on whether the UK should leave the European Union. And Leave won by 52% to 48%, so Brexit really happens. Hello, I'm Billy. Brexit is a compound of Britain and exit, which means Britain's leaving the European Union, and this is the biggest issue in the UK. Or maybe the biggest issue in the world. Then how did Brexit start? After the UK joined the European Union in 1973, some people started to doubt whether the UK got enough benefits in return for the money they paid for the EU. Those who supported Brexit thought the United Kingdom paid too much money for the EU membership, and they thought the UK was being held back by the EU. Also, they said the UK had too little influence in the EU, so they wanted Britain to be independent and have more influence. Actually, this referendum on Brexit is not the first time. There was a referendum on Brexit in 1975, and at that time, many people were in favor of the EU. So the result? 67% of Remain, and Brexit didn't happen. But recently, there has been economic crisis in the EU called Eurozone crisis, and there's been migrant crisis as well. So British people started to think more about what they actually get from the EU. And plus, they started to worry about getting too many immigrants from the EU countries. Immigrants can take advantage of the welfare state in the UK. But for that welfare, British people should pay tax. So they started to want Britain to leave the EU. But Britain's being in the European Union doesn't only have disadvantages. Those who supported remaining in the EU, including the Prime Minister, said the EU membership brought lots of economic benefits thanks to much less barriers between European countries. They also said Britain's status in the world would be damaged by leaving the EU. After lots of campaigns, the result of the referendum turned out to be Leave. Then what's happening after the referendum? The price of the British pound has slumped dramatically after the referendum, and the global economy is fluctuating. Also, the British Prime Minister David Cameron has resigned, taking responsibility for Brexit, and Theresa May has become a new Prime Minister. Scotland said they would consider having another independence referendum, and Northern Ireland is also talking about independence. Britain's leaving the EU is such a big change, so we can't be sure what would happen in the future. The United Kingdom will have a 2-year period for negotiation about Brexit, according to Article 50 of Lisbon Treaty. Considering that period, I think this issue would last for a long time. So, what do you think of this issue? That's it from me, and I'll see you next time. Bye!